Hi, fellow traders, and welcome to my weekly state of the account address. I guess that's the best name I could come up with. And what I'm going to do is share with you the progress that we've made, or if we didn't make progress that week, I'll share that with you. And then a little bit more about how I trade, or how I'm trading this small account to try to give you some idea and some strategies that can help you get off the ground if you're trading with a small account. So again, I'm known as an average Joe trader because I'm just an average Joe, just like most people who want to start trading. I didn't have a whole lot of money and didn't have a whole lot of direction. I just kind of fondled my way through and until I was able to find a good place, a good home, and some good direction to helped me take my trading to the level it needed to be. So um, that's where I got my name. I was watching, actually, one day I was watching Dodgeball, this Vince Vaughn movie, and his gym was called Average Joe's Gym. I just kind of connected with those band of misfits, and I'm just like that. I'm just an average guy trying to, be happy with what I have and who I am, and try to take some steps to put me in a better position, and that's what led me here. Um, this is my weekly summary. You can see I only traded 2 days, had one decent day, and it's really because of my lack of focus on the small account. Really, I saw a couple of good trades that I could take, bigger size in my other account and make a little bit more money, and that's what I ended up doing when I actually could have traded it in this account and put a couple $100 more in. But that's something going forward that I'm going to focus more on. Um, and it's just greed and wanting to put money in the bank versus me doing this. But I'm determined to prove that this can be done. Too many people say you can't do it, that you can't start from where I started and build an account that you can actually make some good profit on day trading. So I started kind of where I started when I started trading seriously. I said $1,500, but actually the actual starting balance was 1443.21, and you see where we are now. We're at 2440.73. It's been right at 3 weeks that I've been working with this, and that's an increase of 69%. $997 we've grown the account by, and 69%. And sure, we've had a couple of small losers, but it's just a matter of managing your risk and sticking to your plan. I could have easily let some trades run away from me and not cut losses the way I should have, but I didn't. I stuck to the plan, and that's why we're able to grow, the way we grind. So you can say about $1,000 in this insure trader, $1,000 times 6 in buying power. So we've increased by about $6,000 in buying power, which is going to help you buy more shares of the stocks that we like to trade. That's going to provide and give you the best opportunity and the safest opportunity to continue to grow your account. So what we're going to talk about today, I'm going to give you, what I focus on and, how I find the stocks that I'm going to trade. And this is just going to be the way I find stocks at the open. What I'm looking for, because that's where you're going to make the most money. That's where the most volatility is right now, is making money at the open up until around 11 o'clock or so. So what my focus is on stocks between $10 and $100. It was 50, but now that we have a little bit more buying power, I'm going up to $100, because if you have a $100 stock that can move 2 or 3 points, then taking 100 shares is going to get you 200 or 300 bucks. And that's better than what we're doing, scraping with these, lower dollar stocks that don't move as much. So that's why I like to trade, the higher dollar stocks, because they have higher chances of moving. You just have to find the right ones that have a decent enough spread with, good risk reward, and you can take advantage of these moves. I only trade my strategies, opening range breakout or breakdowns, reversals, and then VWAP trades are usually secondary trades off of the opening range breakouts or breakdowns and the reversals. But I'm only looking for A plus setups at this point. Taking additional risk is not something that you want to do when you're trying to build your account up to where you can actually trade and make a decent profit. So the purpose of this that I'm doing is not an experiment, because this is real life. This is real money, a real account, and I'm starting over for real. And the goal is to grow this to $5,000 in a couple of months, which is what I did all last year, was start each month off with $5,000, and then whatever I grew it to, I would wire out and start over the next month with $5,000. And I needed to prove to myself that you could actually make a living, you know, albeit a modest living, but you can make a living and pay your bills off of trading with just $5,000 a month, until you got to a point where you can save enough money and move over to, Speed Trader or Lightspeed or somewhere like that, and then have enough money to where you're not worried about the pattern day trader rule. But the thing is, you have to be able to grow your account to where you can pull money out and save it up and get to that point. And you have to be patient, and it takes time. It may take you a year, it may take you 18 months, it may take you 2 years, but if you have a goal in mind and you want to get to that point, then you're going to have to be patient, and you're going to have to be disciplined, and in no time, you'll be living the life that you want to live and achieving the goals that you had set for yourself when you started on this journey. Now, how I find stocks to trade every day, there are thousands of stocks that move every day, but only a handful of them are actually tradable. So we, as day traders, the only way we can make money is to find those stocks that are actually tradable. And there are several ways to do it, but I'm going to share with you how I do it and how I identify the stocks that are going to fit my criteria. Because the potential number of trading opportunities you have, it can be overwhelming, because you can get, I'm sure a lot of you have social media, you have Twitter, you have stock twits, um, you may be in one or two chat rooms, and you're having all of these ideas and things, stocks hitting you, saying this is going to move, that's going to move, but what you have to do is you have to filter through all that noise and filter through all of the stocks that are out there so that you can find the ones that's going to best fit your strategy. And that's what I do every morning. And, over time, I've learned to rely on tools. Like when I first started, I did not want to subscribe to anything. I felt I could use all this free stuff out there and still do the same job. And yeah, you probably could, but it takes a lot of time and a lot of mental energy. And if you expend all of that before the market opens, you're going to have a hard time focusing on your trades and using that mental energy that you have to make the best decisions and be profitable. So finding the best stocks to trade, it requires a little work, and preparation. It's all how you start your day, and you have to start it the correct way. Now, my morning routine is, I wake up at 6 and I'll fire up the computer and check the S&P E-mini futures because that gives me an idea of what happened overnight because those E-mini futures will react to the overseas markets that are trading while we sleep. And it gives me an indication of how the market is going to open that day. Now, of course, it can change. Things can change from, 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, and the market may make a turn. But this just gives me an idea of what I'm going to be looking at that day and gives me something to think about, while I'm at the gym. And good thing is on the treadmills, they have TV, so I can watch MSNBC and kind of get a feel for what's going on there as well. So, I'm gonna have a good idea about where the market is, before I get back home. But at least, I'm not gonna exert a whole lot of energy. I think getting your physical day started is gonna help you come in. It's gonna help your mind be clear, and you'll have a lot better focus. So I'll work out, take a shower, get dressed. When I come home, I'm usually back here by 8, but it's like going to work. I'm coming home to go to work. So I have that mentality. And I'll eat breakfast, which is important. You want to have something to eat because it's been scientifically proven that if you don't eat and your body's producing some chemicals that's going to increase or lower, I'm sorry, it'll lower your blood sugar, and that can cause you to make erratic decisions. So some of us really need to eat. Some of us can go 24 hours without eating and not miss a beat. But the average person, missing a meal will affect, those levels in our blood, and it will cause us to make, erratic decisions. And I think part of the Warrior Pro class that I do, I think we talked about that. And we talked about a study, that showed those things that can happen. Now, there are a lot of things that can affect our decision making process, but you want to start the day off good. You want to start the day off, physically and mentally awake. But between 8:15 and 9 o'clock, really while I'm eating breakfast, I'll be building my watch list. I fire up my scans, which we're going to look at in a minute, and build my watch list. And then from 9 to 9:30, I'm going to track the stocks that are on my watch list. Now, I use trade ideas to scan the pre-market for gappers. There are other things that you can use, and we'll talk about them in a minute, but I'm looking for stocks from $10 to $100 now. It used to be 10 to 50, but we've got more buying power, so we can go on up to $100. I'm looking for stocks gapping up or down at least 4%. I'm looking for stocks that have at least 50,000 shares of pre-market volume. I'm looking for stocks that have an ATR of at least $1. That means it has a trading range of at least $1 over the last 14 days. And the float's going to be less than 500 million. Now I know 500 million is kind of high, but with some of the stocks that we trade, they're going to be a little bit higher float, but then they have the $2 and $3 average true range, which means they will move. So and that's all we're looking for. I'm looking for stocks that have the potential to move and that we can make profit on day trades. All right, then once I get that list, and let me go ahead and show you if I can pull down this gapper list here. This is kind of what the gapper list looks like. If you've been in the Warrior Trading chat room, and if you've been there on free days, or if you're in there every day, this is a gap scan that Ross shows. And I have this scan up, but I have another scan that actually pulls the best candidates from the gapper scan. It pulls the best candidates for me. It's going to give me the best opportunities. So I can quickly look through these. Now, some of these that pop up could be, buyouts, but they've gapped up, and I don't have a way of filtering out buyouts just yet. But like AVG was a buyout, and I did bring down my average true range filter just for the summertime because there would be days where I wouldn't get any hits. And all of the good stocks to trade had an ATR of, less than $1. So I'm just looking through all of them. But these, like PTCT, I probably wouldn't look at unless I didn't have anything else on here. So I would go through these, and then go through the vet process to determine which stocks make my watch list. So move these back out the way. All right, so this is how I vet each stock. On FinViz, it's a free site. It has a lot of good information. This is one of the few tools that you can get for free that's really useful. And what I do first is I put the ticker in FinViz, look up the news, see if it has a catalyst. If it doesn't have a catalyst, then I'm not going to put it on watch yet because I don't know what's going on with it. But I look at the news, I look at the average volume to see, and a lot of times these stocks have already traded above their average volume. And if it's done that already, then I'm definitely going to put that on watch because there is something happening to it. And then I take a look at the analyst rating and see what the target price is, just for information. And then I go into Thinkorswim and I do my daily chart analysis. Look at the daily chart, I mark the levels, and I look to see if we have windows of opportunity. And I'm going to show you that in a second. So I draw my daily support and resistance levels. And then I'll switch back to the 5-minute chart. And wait for this to come up. All right, so FSLR was one of the stocks on my watch. I think I was looking at July 7th was the historical data I pulled up. But this is a stock I actually traded. And what we got I was looking at the open. This was a gapper. It gapped down from where it closed. the prior day. Here was the prior day's close. It gapped down Thursday morning, and so it hit my scan. And then we had the volume, over 50,000 shares of volume traded. So I went and on a daily, and I marked out my daily support and resistance levels. And, I've done a video on this. And then I came back, and now I'm looking for windows of opportunity based on where the stock is trading. So the first thing I see is this 47.22 level has been holding all morning. It gapped down to this level, and it's kind of held all morning. So to me, this is a significant level. So what I did, I formed two plans. If this level held at the open and we got a push above the 5-minute opening range high, I'm going to take it long, looking for it to push this 200 and final target up here 48.84. If it opened below and lost this level, then I would look to take 5-minute opening range breakdown, and this was going to be my first target here. So, and you can see what happened. The stock opened, and we got to open below this level. This stock opened slightly below this and looked weak. So I was able to take this 5-minute opening range breakdown. Took some off here at this level according to my plan. And took some off, here. And all of that was, according to the plan I made pre-market. And what I did, I held the last little bit on until it came down to this ultimate level that I was looking at. And I think it was just the fact that I was tired of holding it, because I held it through all of this. And each one of these levels, you can see how each one, with the exception of this 45.60, this actually held here and gave it a bounce. But it lost a level here, then it consolidated along this level for a long time, and then it finally lost, and it finally made it down to this 44.38. It actually washed out some more. But you can see how important these levels are. And this is one of the times where I was greedy. I saw dollar signs, so I took it in my larger account so I could take a larger share size and I could scale out along the way down. Now, had this been a small account, this would have been this would have been the ultimate target. And always on this bounce back up here to test VWAP, this could have been another entry on a small account. So yeah, I would have gotten out here. Watch the bounce. This is the VWAP fade. I know it didn't test it all the way, but VWAP is not an exact price. It's an area. So people are going to be reacting to the areas. It just so happened that this level of resistance was just below VWAP, and the people around here just reacted to it a little bit early, and this was a nice rejection here that you could have shorted. Now, I should have added here, and I think I typed in chat that I wanted to add on this retest, but I missed it, and just had to hold a little position I had. But this is just to demonstrate what I look for in the opening stocks. I look for these stocks that are gapping. These are the moves that I look for. I look for these windows. If I don't have these windows of opportunity, if there's a line every 20 cents, then no, I'm not going to take it. That's not to say that it can't break through these lines, these levels of support or resistance. It's just that it's going to be choppy doing it, and choppiness can get you stopped out before the move actually, takes off. So I stay away from those. All right, so my final preparation, I just showed you I have my watch list complete by 9. I showed you what I look for. I watched the 30 minutes into open. I pick a level that I need to base that trade plan off of. A lot of times I will pick one stock to watch going into open as my main watch. I'll have the other one or two on secondary watch, but and sometimes it bites me because the one that I'm not watching sets up and takes off, and I'm stuck being stubborn with my number one pick. That does bite me every now and then, but that's just one of the things that I have to work on, as a trader, to be a little bit more open. Sometimes if my number one stock's not working, then I need to drop it and move on. So I watched it up to 9. I focused on those 1 or 3 stocks. I watched the price action like I showed you. Then I developed a plan. So here are some free resources I told you about for finding gappers. Thinkorswim has their own proprietary scans for morning gappers. You can't write a scan to make it work pre-market. They have their own proprietary ones. You just have to find those. And if you want me to show you where they are, send me an email, or you can well, that's probably the best thing to do. Send me an email, or maybe we can do a couple minutes on Skype where I can show you where it is and how to find it, because it's kind of hard to describe. But Thinkorswim does have some scans that work pre-market. And then you have to do some special things to your watch list in order to show the data that you want to see. So it's not something that I can easily show, and maybe I'll make a video at some point. But if you use Thinkorswim and you want to know where it is, just contact me and I can help you find that. And these other 2 websites, they show the pre-market movers. So if you want to use those, if you don't have trade ideas, or if you're in the chat room and the scans don't come up until after 9 and you want to get a head start, which I recommend you doing, you can use these websites. And if you want to contact me, AverageJoeTrader@gmail.com. On that one, you drop the E at the end. And you can check out my website, AverageJoeTrader.com. That has the E. My blog is going to have, you're going to drop the E for the blog. And same thing for Twitter. Do have a Twitter account. I do have Skype. And like I said, if you need me to show you how to use that Thinkorswim, that's the best way to do it. So just email me and I'll send you my Skype name. But that's all I have today. I believe it looks like I'm going to be out Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this coming week. I will be back trading Thursday and Friday. I'll probably be able to pop in and out of the chat room. I may be incoherent, so if I say things crazy, don't hold that against me. I don't think I can stay away for 3 days altogether. But I am smart enough to not try and trade when I'm not there 100%. All right, but that's it for me. I hope everybody has a great week. I will put out the market analysis for next week. I'll usually post that on my blog and tweet out it's there. So if you want to take a look at that later on, that'll be posted on my blog. So see everybody in a couple of days.